Hidden within the depths of history, the lost Gospels hold a mystique that has intrigued scholars and believers for centuries. These ancient texts, believed to have been written during the early days of Christianity, offer a glimpse into the beliefs, traditions, and teachings that shaped the faith we know today. Unlike the well-known Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, these lost writings present a missing puzzle piece, a forgotten chapter in the story of Christianity's foundation. But why are they so important? Because they have the potential to reveal diverse perspectives on Jesus' life, teachings, and the spiritual struggles of his early followers. Despite their profound significance, much about the lost Gospels remains veiled in mystery. Only fragments and fleeting references to these texts survive, scattered across ancient manuscripts, early church writings, and historical accounts. Imagine pieces of a vast mosaic that once existed, but are now largely missing, leaving historians and theologians with tantalizing glimpses of what might have been. What were these Gospels about? What stories did they tell? And who were the voices behind these forgotten works? These unanswered questions have captured the imagination of generations. Could these lost writings offer a different view of Jesus or unveil teachings that challenge our understanding of faith? Were they hidden intentionally to suppress their messages, or were they simply lost to the passage of time? And most intriguingly, could they still be waiting to be discovered, buried in forgotten ruins or hidden in private collections? These mysteries invite us to journey into the unknown, to seek out the untold stories of the early church and uncover the truths they may still hold. In the centuries following Jesus' life and resurrection, the early Christian church existed in a world filled with diversity, conflict, and uncertainty. The Roman Empire, with its vast reach, was both a place of opportunity and a source of persecution for early believers. Amid this backdrop, Christian communities began to gather, share teachings, and preserve the words and actions of Jesus. Yet, these communities were not unified in their understanding or practices. Different regions had their own traditions, their own writings, and even their own interpretations of Jesus' message. This diversity shaped the early church's identity and laid the groundwork for what would eventually become the New Testament. But as the movement grew, so did the need for a cohesive set of scriptures to define the faith. The process of defining what would belong in the New Testament, known as canonization, was no simple task. By the 4th century, church leaders convened councils to determine which writings would be considered sacred and authoritative. They sought texts that aligned with the core teachings of Jesus and the apostles, writings that had been widely circulated and accepted by Christian communities. However, this decision came with difficult choices. For every Gospel of Matthew or Mark included in the canon, there were others left out, writings that didn't fit the theological vision of the church. Some of these excluded texts offered conflicting narratives, while others were deemed heretical or too obscure to be embraced. These decisions shaped the very foundation of Christianity, leaving the excluded writings to fade into obscurity. Beyond the familiar Gospels, alternative accounts of Jesus' life and teachings once existed, written by voices outside the mainstream church. These texts, often called the Lost Gospels, include names like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary, and the Gospel of Judas. Unlike the canonical Gospels, these writings sometimes present a radically different view of Jesus, portraying him as a teacher of hidden wisdom, a revolutionary figure, or even emphasizing the role of women in early Christianity. Such perspectives pose challenges to the established church doctrines, raising questions about authority, interpretation, and faith. What truths might these writings contain? And how might they have changed the story of Christianity if they had been included in the canon? The fate of the lost Gospels has long been the subject of intense speculation. Some believe these texts were simply lost to time, forgotten as the centuries passed and ancient manuscripts crumbled into dust. Others suggest a more deliberate fate, that these writings were systematically destroyed by those who saw them as dangerous or heretical. In this theory, church leaders sought to preserve unity by eliminating texts that could sow discord or challenge established beliefs. Still, others argue that suppression was driven not only by religious concerns but also by political motives, as rulers aligned with the church sought to consolidate power. Each of these theories paints a fascinating picture of the struggles and conflicts that shaped the early Christian world. The disappearance of the lost Gospels can be attributed to a variety of factors. Theological disagreements were perhaps the most significant. As the early church worked to define its core beliefs, texts that conflicted with emerging doctrines were often marginalized or rejected. For example, writings that emphasized hidden knowledge or alternative views of Jesus clashed with the church's efforts to present a unified faith. Political motives may have also played a role. As Christianity became intertwined with the Roman Empire, certain writings were seen as a threat to the stability of both the church and the state. Finally, the simple passage of time cannot be overlooked. Many ancient manuscripts were lost due to natural decay, wars, and the limited means of preservation in antiquity. Each of these reasons contributes to the mystery surrounding these lost texts. While some of the lost Gospels may be gone forever, there is always the tantalizing possibility that they still exist, hidden in undiscovered corners of the world. Could ancient scrolls lie forgotten in caves, monasteries, or private collections? Some even speculate that these texts might contain coded messages, revealing secret teachings or historical truths that challenge our understanding of the past. Alternative interpretations of events, such as the role of Jesus' disciples or the nature of his teachings, could reshape everything we think we know about early Christianity. These possibilities keep the mystery alive and inspire ongoing exploration and discovery, driven by the hope that the past might yet speak to us in ways we never imagined. The search for the lost Gospels has led historians and archaeologists to uncover fascinating evidence from the ancient world. In the 20th century, one of the most groundbreaking discoveries was the Nag Hammadi Library, a collection of ancient texts unearthed in Egypt. Within these writings were Gospels such as the Gospel of Thomas, shedding light on alternative views of Jesus and his teachings. Other clues have surfaced in early church writings, where leaders like Irenaeus and Origen mention texts now considered lost. These fleeting references suggest that a rich tapestry of writings once existed, offering glimpses of a more diverse early Christian landscape than we might have imagined. Recent discoveries continue to expand our understanding of the early Christian world. Archaeologists have unearthed ancient sites, such as desert monasteries and caves, that preserve fragments of early manuscripts. These finds include pieces of papyrus with cryptic passages that hint at unknown Gospels. Meanwhile, ongoing research into existing collections, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and early church archives, has uncovered overlooked details that could point to the existence of more lost writings. Scholars are piecing together these fragments to reconstruct the historical and spiritual landscape of the first centuries after Christ, providing valuable context for the faith's development. Modern technology has revolutionized the search for the lost Gospels, opening new doors to discovery. Advanced imaging techniques, such as multispectral scanning and X-ray fluorescence, have revealed hidden texts beneath layers of writing on ancient parchments. These tools have already uncovered forgotten works, including early Christian hymns and sermons. Digital databases and artificial intelligence now allow scholars to analyze vast amounts of historical data, identifying patterns and connections that were previously invisible. With these technologies, the possibilities are endless. Could the next great discovery already be waiting, hidden in plain sight, in libraries or archives around the world? The pursuit of the lost Gospels is not only a journey into the past, but also a testament to the power of innovation in unlocking history's secrets. As we've seen, the story of the lost Gospels is a fascinating journey through history, filled with mystery and discovery. From the early church's debates over sacred texts to the theories of suppression, loss, or destruction, these writings remain an enduring enigma. We've explored historical evidence, recent discoveries, and the cutting-edge technologies that are reshaping our understanding of these forgotten works. Yet, the questions remain: what truths might the lost Gospels hold? And how might they change the way we view Christianity's origins and the teachings of Jesus? The lost Gospels challenge us to think beyond the traditional narrative of Christianity. They remind us that the early church was a vibrant, diverse movement with a wide range of voices and perspectives. These texts, if uncovered, could provide a deeper understanding of Jesus' life, the beliefs of his earliest followers, and the spiritual struggles of the time. They have the potential to not only enrich our historical knowledge but also inspire new conversations about faith, unity, and the human experience. The story of the lost Gospels is far from over. Each new discovery, each fragment uncovered, brings us closer to understanding the full picture of Christianity's beginnings. But this search isn't just for scholars or archaeologists. It's for all of us. Whether you're a believer, a historian, or simply curious, the mysteries of these lost texts invite you to explore, question, and seek answers. Who knows? The next great discovery might just be waiting for you to uncover it. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Let's keep unlocking the past together.